Hi everyone! On today's episode of Sewcial Sunday, I'll be talking about using micron pens to label the backs of quilts, the Long Island New York Beauty quilt pattern, using Harris tweed fabrics in bag making. The book review will be for Modern Quilt Magic by Victoria Finlay Wolfe. I'll be showing a trailer video for my new Minikins patterns that are out now, and I have a great giveaway at the end, so make sure you stay tuned. The giveaway is from Penguin and Fish. I'm Sarah Lawson from Sew Sweetness. Thanks so much for joining me for Sewcial Sunday, my weekly sewing chat. Okay, just as a friendly reminder, everything that I talk about during Sewcial Sunday, I link to in the description. So if you're curious to find out more about the notions, fabrics, or projects that I'm talking about, just click in that link in the description and it will take you to more information. So I just wanted to say hello to everybody that's joining in on the chat. So hi to Tamara, Diana, Melanie, Nicole, Tina, Patricia, Priscilla, Pamela. Hi to everybody that's joining me for Sewcial Sunday. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate you taking a little bit of time out of your Sunday evening. So for today's notion of the week, I wanted to talk about these micron pens that I just got in the mail. These micron pens are made by Sakura of America. And as you can see in the overlay, they come in different tip widths. And my friend, Amy Friend from During Quiet Time, she used to be a collections curator at a museum, and she recommended these particular pens for marking quilt labels or the backs of quilts with, for example, your name, the date that you made the quilt, who you made it for, things like that. And I also had a good recommendation after using these on fabric to hit it with heat from a hairdryer right away to stop the bleed from the ink. So I'm going to try these in a couple weeks in a future sewing tutorial video, and I wanted to test them out on fabric with the hairdryer and see if they bleed or not, and also washing them, putting them in the washer and the dryer and see if that affects the label at all. So I had a question. Let me know in the comments, either yes or no. Do you label the quilts? So tell me in the comments yes or no. Do you label your quilts? So my answer is that while I would like to use pretty quilt labels on my quilts, such as this one, I've been saving this Tula Pink quilt label for some time. It's just been in my stash for a while, but I would like to use pretty quilted or pretty printed quilt labels, but I'm sort of a quick and easy type of girl, so I feel like those micron pens might be more my speed as far as labeling quilts. And I have a friend, actually I know of a few people who rescue quilts, so maybe they find them at a thrift shop or auction, old quilts that they don't know who made them or where they came from, and so that really cemented in my mind that I need to start labeling my quilts, because 100 years from now someone might find a quilt of mine and not know that I made it. So I want to make sure all my quilts are labeled with the date. If I made the quilt for a gift, I want to make sure that information's on there as well. So yeah, let me know in the comments. I'm curious to see if others are labeling their quilts as well. All right, so today's project that I just started working on, I got this quilt pattern off Etsy. It's for a quilt pattern for foundation paper piecing, and it's called Long Island New York Beauty, and it's for a 32-inch by 32-inch quilt block. It comes with the instructions and the template to make just the one block, and I was thinking of making this for, we're renovating our first floor, including the kitchen, and I thought I'd make this for a really large quilted pillow for our living room couches. So I thought this would be really cool. I haven't chosen the fabrics yet. I thought maybe solids, because I'm a really big solids girl, but this just looked like a fun and relatively quick project, because you're just making, or at least I was just planning on making the one block for the pillow, and just with the 4 segments, I thought I could finish it maybe in an entire day of sewing. So this is what I'm working on this week. I'll show you in a future Sewcial Sunday if I get that pillow top pieced and finished in the pillow. Okay, so Arletta said, hello Sarah, bought the Minikins today. Patty says she's sewing while watching today. I really love to hear that. I hope that while you're watching or listening to my Facebook live chats, or maybe later on YouTube, that you're getting some sewing done, because I know me personally, I like having TV shows or movies on when I'm sewing. Number one, I don't feel like I'm alone in the room, and number two, it just something in my ear that's interesting that I can listen to while I'm sewing. Diana said, in regard to that question I asked about quilt labels, she says, I label all quilts. I've used the micron pens for many years, but I also use machine alphabets to stitch labels. Yeah, that's a great idea. That's a great idea, and good to hear that those micron pens work for you. All right, so the fabric of the week that I wanted to show you is actually fabric that I've had in my stash for some time, but these are Harris tweeds. So these are wool fabrics. I purchased these from an Etsy seller called UK Handmaiden, and again, link in the description if you're interested in finding Harris tweeds on Etsy. But I purchased 3 half-yard cuts, and I wanted to use these for bags or small accessories like pouches, because I feel like wool is kind of a fall fabric, and I thought it would be nice to pair with maybe like a brown leather for a bag, like as far as the accents go. So here's like a fuchsia Harris tweed that I purchased. I got another one that's kind of a grass green in color, and my favorite one is this teal Harris tweed that is has a herringbone print on it. I really love the texture of this one. So I'm looking forward to making a bag, maybe a laptop bag with the Harris tweeds, but these are my fabrics of the week from my fabric stash. All right, the book review for this week is a book called Modern Quilt Magic that I bought this book. It's by Victoria Finlay Wolfe, and the subtitle is 5 Parlor Tricks to Expand Your Piecing Skills. So I'm showing some photos in the overlay of some of the quilt projects in the book. But there's several chapters, and they're all broken down by a technique, and I feel like these techniques are either techniques that are not commonly used or techniques that people are sort of nervous about using. So chapter 1 is for partial seam constructions. I've done partial seams a few times in the past, but I really am looking forward to Victoria's tips for doing that. And in the first chapter, there's a pillow pattern as well as a quilt pattern. So especially with the pillow, I feel like it gives you a chance to try out the technique. The second chapter is for blocks with partial seams, and there's a quilt that I really love in this book. I wasn't able to find a photo of it online, but this is what the quilt looks like, and Victoria made it in all solids. There was a question, a comment in the chat. Tracy says, oh, I just took a class from that book and it's awesome. Tracy, I'm curious, what pattern did you make from the book? I saw that Victoria was teaching a lot around the country, and I think in Australia as well, patterns from her book. So I'm curious to know what project you took the class in. So Victoria is known for her made fabric. So if you're not familiar with what made fabric is, Victoria, instead of, say if a quilt pattern calls for 5-inch charm squares, Victoria creates her own fabric. So she'll cut up other fabrics, sew them together, and piece them to create those 5-inch squares, and then later use them in the quilt pattern. So Victoria is really known for that, and chapter 3 in the book is using that technique. Chapter 4 is Y seams, which I hear all the time people are nervous about using Y seams, but again, I'm all about learning new things when it comes to sewing, and I feel like just because we're scared of something doesn't mean, or at least for me, I want to learn all the things. So Y seams, even though they might be tricky, I'm looking forward to delving into this book further. And the last chapter in the book is freeform curves, and there's a picture in the overlay with sort of a cream set of fabrics at the bottom and darker pinks and blues at the top. Let me see if I can pull it out of the book for you really quick. But this is the quilt that I want to make first from this book, and it's dealing with curves and freeform piecing, and basically you're just making 8 rows of braids and sewing them together. And this quilt is beautiful. I feel like the design is not something that you would see every day, and I'm all about sewing with curves. So this is just a look into Modern Quilt Magic by Victoria Finlay Wolfe, and if you're interested in the book, you can find, again, link in the description. It'll take you to Victoria's shop, and I believe she's got signed copies of the book in her shop and previous books. Okay, so let's see. Gwen said 15 Minutes of Play, love that book. That's another book by Victoria. It's called 15 Minutes of Play. Marie had a question in the comments. Can you tell me what machine you use to make your bags? I have a Juki 2010 behind me. Yeah, it's right behind me. I also have another Juki, which is basically the same exact thing. It's a QVP 2200 mini. The only difference on my QVP is that right over here it's got a blue stripe, but otherwise the machines are exactly the same. So my Juki is straight stitch only. It deals with tons of layers. If you make bags, you know that there's, as the bag comes together, there's lots of layers. And I've had my Juki since 2013. I take it in every 2 years to get it maintenanced, because the last time I took it in for maintenance, the sewing machine technician remarked that I must sew a lot, and I asked him how he knew that, and I guess tons of lint had built up in this part of the machine where you can't get to without taking it apart. So yeah, my machine's gotten me through a lot, and I wouldn't trade it for a much more expensive machine. So that's what I have, the Juki. I am really excited to show you and tell you more about my minikins. So we shot a trailer video for my new minikins accessory patterns. So it's 12 patterns with videos. We're just selling them as a bundle, so not individual patterns, because when I was thinking about the concept, I really wanted to do, if you're a quilter, you're familiar with block of the month programs. I really wanted to do a block of the month program, but for accessories, like bag related accessories. And so that's why we're selling them as a bundle. But I think I tried really hard to come up with a huge variety of patterns. They're all 15 steps or less. Great for making gifts, teacher gifts. They're really fast. You can make them, a lot of them, for craft fairs, and they're sort of a lower price point item as opposed to bags that might have a lot of hardware. So great for craft marts as well. So here's my trailer video showing you all of the patterns that are in minikins, and if you like this, be sure to hit share. Hi everyone, I'm Sarah Lawson from Sew Sweetness, and I am so excited that the day is finally here to introduce you to the minikins. Minikins are quick accessory projects that come together in 15 steps or less. They require minimal supplies, so a lot of them just use a fat quarter for the exterior and a fat quarter for the lining, minimal interfacing, and perhaps a zipper. There's a couple patterns with no zipper at all. So they come together really easily, pleasant sews, and they're great for making for holiday gifts, for craft fairs. Make a lot of them really quickly. So let me introduce you to the minikins. The Sidewinder pouch is probably my favorite of the bunch, and it comes in 3 different sizes, as you can see. It uses non-directional prints because the fabric wraps around from one end to the other. You shouldn't use a directional print, meaning a picture of something, so a picture of a frog or a horse. It should be stripe or an all-over print, an all-over floral, something non-directional. I really like the handle and the side corners of the pouch, and it's great to make as a set. The small one fits pens or pencils, and the size large would be great for a toiletry bag. This is the Zeppelin pouch, and it's got this great grab handle on the front on the same side as the zipper, so very easy to open. And it's a really spacious pouch, so it would be great for a men's DOP kit or toiletries or a carry-on travel case. The nice thing about this pouch is that it sort of origamis together, so there's just the front and back portion and the handle, and that's it. So the sides and the bottom cleverly come together through the magic of sewing. The cotton candy pouches are a great way to use your favorite large scale prints. So I'm a really big fan of using focal fabrics, and as you can see, they fit nicely on the front of the pouches. The nice thing about the cotton candy pouch is that even though it has a slimlined look, the zipper opens the inside of the pouch wide so you can pack all of your essentials inside, and then it zips back up and has this really beautiful shape. There's only front portions of the bag and back, and then the side panel, so it comes together really quickly, and that top zipper is really easy to put in. This is the Bellevue pouch, and as you can see, it comes in 3 different sizes. It's probably the quickest project out of the 12 minikins to put together because it's just the front and the back piece, fabric pieces for the zipper tabs, and then just the zipper, and that's it. So it comes together really quick. And it has a lot of options, and the pouch stands up by itself. As you can see, it's three-dimensional. This is the MORSEL lunch bag sewing pattern, and even though I've done lunch bag patterns in the past, I wanted one that came together really quick and easy, had a handle like this on the top, and it also has a recessed zipper to keep everything inside. So let me open it up so you can see the inside. So it's really spacious on the inside. I made mine with quilting cotton, but if you'd like an insulated lunch bag, you can interface the lining fabric with insulated fleece, and if you choose to do so, you can also make the lunch bag with laminated fabric, which would make it really easy to wipe clean. This is the MOTO pouch sewing pattern. As you can see, it comes in two different sizes. Both of them have the convenient grab handle on the front. This is the size small, and I made it in a metallic Essex linen, and this is size large. So let me show you what it looks like on the inside. So there's no binding. The lining is inserted using a drop-in lining, which is really easy using my method where I use Dritz Wash Away Wonder Tape to attach the zipper, the exterior, and the lining at the end, and just a simple top stitch just secures all of the layers in place. This is the grab and go sleeve sewing pattern, and this is also one of my favorites just for the fact that it's totally customizable. So basically, I ask you for 2 measurements for your device. So it can be an iPad, a laptop, a Bible, really anything, as long as it's a square or a rectangle. And using the 2 measurements, so the length by the height of the object, I walk you through how to create this for your specific device. So I made this particular sleeve for my mom's laptop. I just took the measurements. Again, it's just going to be the length times the height, and the pattern walks you through the entire process, so your device will be safe inside this handled sleeve. There's foam interfacing as well as Peltex, so it's really sturdy, and this is what it looks like on the inside. This is the binary pouch sewing pattern. It only comes in the one size, but it's got some really interesting features on it. I used a bit of non-fraying fabric as a zipper pull, so this is suede cording, but you can use ribbon, a scrap of leather, whatever you want as long as it doesn't fray. And this is the only minikin that uses a bit of hardware. So this particular pouch has a magnetic snap on the flap to keep everything secure. And as you can see, even though there's the 2 zippers, there's just the one inner compartment. There's no binding on this one. Everything comes together really nicely just by sewing everything right sides together. And this is probably my second favorite pouch behind the Sidewinder pouches. I just think it's got some really interesting details on it, and it's a good size too. This is the I Spy pouch pattern, and at 9 steps, it's the quickest sew out of all of the projects. This is size small, and they all have a clear vinyl window in the front, and the clear vinyl is really easy to work with. You don't need any extra steps. We'll just be sandwiching the vinyl in between 2 layers of fabric, so your sewing machine will handle it with ease. So I'm using this size small to store my Aurifil threads. Here's medium, which is great for a rotary cutter and scissors. That's about the length of this particular pouch. And here's size large, and I've got a set of markers in size large. The desktop cubes are, as the name implies, perfect for holding things on your desktop. So size small is great for pens or pencils. Here I've got the size medium with my rotary cutter and scissors. And here's the size large. So this is a really good size. If you're a quilter, this particular size will hold 3 jelly rolls. If you're a knitter, mine can fit a couple skeins of yarn. So these have a lot of uses. This is the JETSET cinch bag, and even though it only comes in one size, it's very, very useful. So it's a very structured drawstring bag. It's got a double cord lock on the front for putting the cotton cording through and cinching it, as is this one that's closed. And it's got mesh pockets on the inside. So I've got my shampoos in here. This would be great for a carry-on toiletry bag. And let me just clear it out so you can see what the mesh pockets look on the inside. And this one comes together really quickly, and it would be a great gift. This is the Trifle tumbler sewing pattern. So this is a classic round barrel shape. It features a handle on one end and a zipper on the top. In 3 different sizes. Here's what it looks like on the inside, and the inside is finished with binding. I hope you enjoyed this detailed look into the minikins. Minikins are great for any skill level, beginning bag makers to advanced bag makers. I think everyone will really appreciate how fast and easy these come together. So come sew along with me. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that look into the minikins. If you're interested in purchasing the minikins, all 12 PDF patterns will be available in your account immediately. And like I mentioned before the video, we're handling the videos sort of a block of the month community sewing style. So starting November 5th, 1 per month, the video will be available in your account. And I was hoping we could all sew together. I can't wait to see your finished photos of the minikins. I actually saw one pop up on social media earlier this morning, so thanks to everybody who's already purchased. I saw in the comments Claudia, Louise, Arletta, and I know there were more of you, so thank you so much. I really appreciate it. So I wanted to answer some of the questions that were coming through while that video was showing. So Crystal wanted to know, for the minikins, what's the least amount of steps? So I said that they were about 15 steps or less. There's one pattern that's 9 steps, so that was the I Spy pouch. That was the zippered pouch with the clear vinyl on the front where you could see the items that were inside. So that one's 9 steps. So they vary. They're all really quick and easy, and I was hoping to give a lot of variety. And one of my favorites was that grab and go sleeve, which I made for the laptop that I showed in the video, and literally you could make it for a Bible. I made one for a cookbook because I don't have a laptop, so anything goes as far as that. Let's see, Pat wanted to know, is the $80 special pricing or is that the normal price? We've decided to keep it at the $80 for the bundle, so you don't have to rush if you need some time to get that kitty money together. It'll be there when you need it, and this bundle's not going away, so it'll be up on the website when you're ready. Peggy had a question or a comment. She said, Hubs just showed me his DOP kit that is falling apart. So excited to make him one, probably the Zeppelin. Yeah, I really like the Zeppelin. That Zeppelin pouch comes together with literally, like I said in the video, just front and back fabrics in the handle, and with sort of origami sewing, it, you know, creates the sides and the bottom. So I really like that one a lot. Marie wanted to know, do you wash fabric before you make your bags? I usually suggest to treat the fabric beforehand how you will in the finished bag. So if you plan to wash the finished bag, pre-washing the fabric's a good idea. That being said, if you're using high quality quilt shop fabrics, the shrinkage is minimal. Years ago when I first started making bags, I actually measured the fabric before and after I put it in the washing machine and in the dryer, and the shrinkage was like 1/8 of an inch or less. If you're nervous about it, if you're unsure where the fabric came from, I always suggest pre-washing, but I am usually using quilt shop quality fabric, so I usually don't pre-wash. I've washed finished bags and I've not noticed a problem, but again, if it's for a gift or you're selling it, you might want to err on the side of caution. Debbie wanted to know, where do you purchase zippers for bags? So I sell handbag zippers on my website with 2 pulls, and they come in 30-inch and 40-inch lengths. I also purchase number 3 zippers, which are also known as dress skirt zippers. They're all-purpose zippers. I purchase those from Zip It on Etsy, and I usually buy them in bulk. I have a habit of buying zippers in just 2 different sizes because for me, it's not possible to have a rainbow of colors in like every different zipper size. So I purchase them in 14-inch lengths and 22-inch lengths. If I need a shorter zipper, I can trim it down. So since I have the 22-inch zippers, if I need an 18-inch zipper, I'm covered. And since I have the 14-inch zippers, if I need a 9-inch zipper, I'm covered with that 14-inch zipper. So I buy them in bulk in 14 inches and 22 inches from Zip It on Etsy. Okay, so I just wanted to remind you, besides Sewcial Sunday, I'm doing 2 additional Facebook Lives every week. And on Tuesday night, I have what I call Ask Sarah, and that's at 7 p.m. Central Time. This Tuesday, I'm going to be posting a free video during Ask Sarah for a selvage zippered pouch with darts on the bottom to give it a 3-dimensional shape. So if you're interested in that, if you've been saving your selvages, I asked about it in my Facebook group earlier today, and a lot of people said they were saving salvages, but they just didn't know what to do with them. So if that's you, make sure to tune in on Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central Time on Facebook for Facebook Live. If you missed the broadcast, it's always available to you on Facebook, or you can catch it on YouTube after we go off being live. So that's this Tuesday. That's for a salvage zipper pouch with darts. All right, so I've been starting this thing lately where I ask in the comments who's joining me that's a bag lady. And by bag lady, I mean not only somebody who makes a lot of bags, but I think small accessories and zipper pouches fall into the realm of bag making. So I know I'm for sure a bag lady. I want to know in the comments, and let me know if you are. Tell me I'm a bag lady and be proud about it. So don't be shy. If you are not currently a bag lady, I want to get you there. So either with the salvage zippered pouch on Tuesday, the free one, maybe the minikins. I want to get everybody to be a bag lady, and I want to see the comments flooded with lots of people saying that I'm a bag lady. So yeah, come join us on the dark side. All right, the last but not least, the giveaway this week is thanks to Penguin and Fish. So Penguin and Fish sent me 3 embroidery kits with hoops, and I'm showing some of the other Penguin and Fish designs in the overlay, but let me just give you a peek at what's included in the giveaway. So these are 3 wooden hoops along with the pattern and the floss, the whole kit to make the project. So the jellyfish kit is included in the giveaway from Penguin and Fish. This one's the hedgehog. This one's my favorite, and I feel like the design I most relate to the Penguin and Fish company. And this one's the giraffe. So these 3 are included in the giveaway. I wanted to also let you know, make sure, especially if you're interested in embroidery or might be interested in embroidery, or you know somebody that is, visit the Penguin and Fish website. The link's in the description, because Alyssa, the designer from Penguin and Fish, has an amazing free embroidery pattern that's available to people that visit her website. And this includes 6 different images for embroidering animals, and this is really darling. And this is probably one of my favorite embroidery patterns from Penguin and Fish, in fact, and it's free. But to enter the giveaway, just let me know in the comments. I'll choose a giveaway winner at the end of the day this Saturday, October 28th. All you have to let me know, all you have to do to enter the giveaway is tell me in the comments what your favorite animal is. So easy peasy. My favorite animal has always been a horse. As a kid, I took horseback riding lessons every week, and my daughter this summer started horseback riding lessons as well at the same place where I used to ride. And in fact, one of the ponies that she has ridden is one of the ponies that I rode when way back then. Her name is Tweety, and so I thought that was really cool that same pony was still giving students riding lessons. But anyway, giveaway from Penguin and Fish. Just let me know in the comments what your favorite animal is. All right, so that is all for this week's episode of Sewcial Sunday. Make sure to join me Tuesday for Facebook Live at 7 p.m. Central Time for that free salvage zipper pouch tutorial video. But I'll see you again next Sunday at 5 p.m. Central Time for Sewcial Sunday. Thanks for joining me.